I'm I'm gonna cry again. So I just did a segment with Moreno and Pantoja, and now I have to discuss Robbert Whittaker. Um, what can I say? So Robbert Whittaker lost to the real African middleweight king. First thing first, before we get into the whole Dricus Du Plessis and Adesanya drama, Robbert Whittaker is a great fighter, but he didn't look like himself today. Am I tripping? I don't know. I just feel like there was no pop in his shot. He didn't move as well. His kicks weren't as efficient. I don't know. He didn't seem as on point as he used to. But this could also be because of Dricus Du Plessis' style and the way he was approaching it and the way uh, how aggressive he was and stuff like that. I just believe that there was something with Robbert Whittaker. He wasn't as good as I thought he would. But it's crazy because we feel like we've said that about every opponent of Dricus Du Plessis, like Darren Till. Like, well, what happened to Darren Till? He wasn't so good in that fight, but at the same time, maybe Dricus was just better. What happened to Derek Brunson in that fight? Kind of just wobbling around. Maybe Dricus was just better. What happened to Whittaker? It kind of just was a weird performance. Dricus was just better. As unorthodox as he is, as weird as he fights, he just finds a way to win. And he did it on the feet too against Whittaker. Man. Oh man. But this is how we build these fights. We build these fighters in general. It's like we have to see the fighters we know against a fighter coming up, and we have to see them, engage and show off their skills so we can actually respect them. This is the way you get the respect of a fighter. As much as it hurts to see a fighter we know, a fighter we love go down like that, it's the only way we're going to respect the other fighter that comes up and win a fight like that. So Dricus Du Plessis deserves a lot of respect for this performance. And I'm not going to lie, he kind of made it look easy. He was really dominant. And yeah, he deserves that. I guess he deserves that middleweight championship fight to determine who's the real African middleweight champion. The pettiest, corniest beef I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely ridiculous. I would probably go into details because that's just who I am, but I feel like I would need to have some papers on facts and who said what and who said what, because I just don't have it in front of my face. But I just know there was an interview with Dricus Du Plessis, and he said something about him being the real African fighter, fighting from Africa. He lives there, he trains there, and he basically said something about him being the first African champion. And then I guess Adesanya didn't like that. But, I mean, it's obvious that Adesanya isn't living or training out of Africa. He resides in New Zealand. He lives in New Zealand. And he wants to make this fight with Dricus Du Plessis in New Zealand. In my opinion, is that not what he discussed? Whereas I heard Dricus say, if I win against Whittaker, I want that fight in Africa. It's like, it's funny because it feels like Dricus isn't even trying to like annoy him. He's not even trying to like, press him or like discredit him or anything like that. He was just basically saying a funny line, and Adesanya really took it really personal to an extent that it almost makes it uncomfortable for a lot of people watching it on the outside, because obviously people nowadays in this society, in this modern society, are way too soft and weak to talk about a black fighter saying some racist shit to a white fighter. So they're always gonna side with the black fighter, because if you say something negative about the black fighter, you're automatically gonna be assumed that you're racist, which is absolutely not the case. But in this situation, it's pretty clear that Adesanya has done some foul racist shit towards Dricus Du Plessis, but we just don't give a fuck because Dricus is white. So like I said, it's just a weird society that we live in nowadays. It's almost like everything that happened in the past, like we're starting to normalize the extreme on the other side. And there's going to have to be somebody that comes up and and reminds it, whoa, hold on, wait, what you're saying isn't right. What you're saying is actually really racist. Because if I said the exact same thing to you, you would be really butthurt. I would be canceled in all social media platform. I could never speak ever again. So like, how is it okay for him to say some shit like that and not me? You know what I mean? All I said was, I'm the real African champion fighting and residing and training out of Africa, which is absolutely the truth. You know, if you're getting so butthurt about it, it's maybe because you know it's the truth. So at the same time, as much as I love Adesanya, his whole story, this whole beef is the corniest shit, and it's because of Adesanya, because of how butthurt and personal he's taking this. Like, bro, just admit that you don't live and reside and train out of Africa like Du Plessis is. And yeah, he might be white, but he is really African. He is born, train, and reside out of Africa, fight out of Africa. That's just who he is. So yeah, it might piss some people off to see a white fighter more African than a black fighter, but nowadays this is what society has. There's some white people in Africa, just like there's some black people in America and in Europe and in Australia and New Zealand. That's just how it is. But yeah, this is the corniest, dumbest beef in history of the UFC. I can't believe this is really what's promoting this fight, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't really mind it. I would love to see Dricus Du Plessis do some unorthodox, funky shit to Adesanya and kind of like make him eat his word. Because, yeah, like I said, the more you listen to Adesanya, the more corny you realize he really is. Maybe I just should stop watching his stuff and listening to him, because I don't want to hate on him. I just don't. But this whole shit has been just ridiculous. I saw some interviews back in the day, or not back in the day, back a few weeks ago or a few months ago, when Du Plessis and them had a beef and shit, and he called him a cracker and shit. Like, bro, that is just wild. And I'm probably the opposite of like the you know, what you said is like, it's wrong. You shouldn't say these things. I feel like everybody could say whatever the fuck they want to say. It's all about the intent behind what you say. If you say something, but you're saying it in a joking way, you're saying it, you know, just to poke fun at somebody, it doesn't really matter what the fuck you say. It's just words. But if you say it in an intent to actually hurt somebody, that's where it kind of becomes weird. It kind of gets weird. You know what I mean? So every word that we can all speak of, it's just the way you use that word, in my opinion. And Israel used that word to actually hurt and attack Du Plessis, which is crazy. Like, kind of bully him. Like, he's a cracker. He's a white. In my opinion, I was like, wait, hold on. This is crazy. This is the beef we're getting into. But you know what? I like it. I don't want people to like shy away from talking about this. It might open up some discussions. You know, see some different opinions and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? Maybe it's whatever promotes a fight. I ain't mad at it. At the same time, now all we have to do is put some respect on Dricus Du Plessis' names, because us collectively, as the MMA fan base that we are, we all didn't give him a single chance to win this fight. So, like I said, we just have to put some respect on his name now. And, you know, I kind of like him. I kind of like the way he handled it all. I like the way he respected Robbert Whittaker at the end as well. And I just like the way you saw he wasn't scared of Adesanya at all. So, big shout out to Dricus Du Plessis for his massive victory. It's really sad to see Robbert Whittaker go down. I don't know what the fuck he's going to do next. You know what I mean? He might just keep fighting some contenders and stuff like that. But I also do believe there was something wrong with Whittaker, but maybe that's just an excuse that I give myself. We're going to see what happens next, but yeah, I can't wait to see what goes down between Du Plessis and Adesanya and all the drama that comes along with it. It's going to be a fun one, and I guess this is starting the summer really well. Some fun pay-per-views on the ways, and I can't wait for it. I can't wait.